Hello, listeners. This is Mike Mu from the Mu-Ster Tech Podcast. This is episode number 21. Stadia has changed my mind about cloud gaming. A couple of weeks ago, I talked about how Google had a promotion where if you were a YouTube Premium subscriber, individual subscriber apparently, you got to redeem a free version of the hardware that is Google Stadia Premier. Basically, it is a game controller that connects via Wi-Fi directly to the Stadia servers that then allow you to stream games directly from Google servers at 4K, up to 4K. Okay, so it gave you a controller and it gave you a Google Chromecast 4K that connects up to your 4K capable TV or not and streams full-on games. Now, I've tried streaming games years ago and the experience was okay. It wasn't super great and it often necessitated me having some sort of relatively powerful system that I was streaming from. I've tried it with the NVIDIA solution. I don't even remember the name of it right now. And it worked okay, but it required me to have a decent hardware system on my end. This works completely with what you get from the Premiere for about $100. And on top of that, right now, actually, I just posted on my YouTube channel, Mike Mu, about how if you just pre-order this $60 game called Cyberpunk 2077, you can get and redeem a completely free Stadia Premier Edition. That includes the controller and it includes a Google Chromecast 4K for $60. So you get a $60 game and then you get $100 worth of hardware to go with that. And you don't even have to pay a subscription fee to play this because you bought the game and you just need a free account. So details on my YouTube channel, I'll also have a link below that in the show notes. So what really got me about this was that I look at the gaming systems that I've purchased in previous years. Okay, I've owned various versions of Xboxes. I've had PlayStations. I've also had Nintendo Cubes. Never had the Nintendo Switch because I figured that was too much. And I'm more of a casual gamer. I like certain games and sometimes you got to go to different platforms for those particular games, such as Nintendo. You got these certain specific games that are only available on Nintendo systems. So this isn't going to be a recommendation for people who are very specific to, let's say, Mario or Super Mario or any of the ones that are exclusive to Nintendo. Basically, you pay for the game and then you get to stream for the rest of the life of Stadia. Now, there are benefits to getting the Pro, which allows you to stream up to 4K. And also with a Pro, you also get a bunch of free games every season. I'm not sure if they're monthly, but if you stay subscribed, you get a bunch of free games. And when you add them to your account, they stay with you as long as you continue with Stadia Pro. So you get to access these free games instantly every month. They add more. Some of them leave after a little while too. So, it makes sense to stay subscribed to Stadia Pro. You also get exclusive discounts to a gaming library, and you also get access to 4K HDR streaming along with 5.1 surround sound. I think one of the best ways to kind of think about it this way is, remember when people used to have to go buy DVD players? You got to buy the DVD hardware, and then you had to go out and buy DVDs, to stick them in there. Now we have streaming services like Netflix because we have fast and capable internet in order to stream in relatively good enough quality that most of us don't complain that it's not, some ridiculously high bit rate. And, some of these places that you stream from, of course, will support really high bit rates. But most of us are pretty much okay with it unless we're really hardcore people who need the best quality of video with the ultra high end video home theater. So let's say if you're a complete pro gamer, this probably isn't going to be the best solution for you because this is wireless, connects via Wi-Fi and through the internet. And if your internet gets a bad connection for whatever reason, it could be It could be the fault of the ISP, internet service provider. It could be the Wi-Fi. It could be someone running an microwave oven that's interfering with your frequency on 2.4 gigahertz. It could be that you need a better router. It could be your AT&T service and the gateway they provide. It could be a lot of different things that could prevent you from playing. But I think now, especially recently, where I've had a chance to play with the Stadia system and play some games on it, even while traveling on various platforms, both on my laptop, both on a TV, a 4K TV, and a 1080p TV with gigabit internet, and also with not so great internet from Comcast in the San Francisco Bay Area. The experience was fantastic. It's so much better than trying to travel with a gaming system that is not as small as a Nintendo Switch. Okay, obviously the big caveat is that you need a relatively decent internet. So now we have 5G that has been released throughout the United States. And obviously the 5G is just only going to grow. The network's going to grow. Your speed's going to get even better. It makes sense. And Google was really smart in giving out these free controller systems with this promotion with YouTube Premiere. I would have never tried this again for $100 just to see and beta test whether or not the gaming platform is going to work out. And let me tell you, I think it works out. I almost see no reason for me as a semi-casual gamer to go out and purchase hardware just so that I can game, especially when I have an okay internet connection most of the time, right? Now, if you're on Comcast and everybody's at home, they're streaming stuff, they're uploading during the Zoom calls, your connection's not going to be as good unless you get a really great router that can shape your traffic and give gamers more priority, right? So you're going to have to get your own router to do that. So, there's going to be a little bit of investment that needs to take place. But one, you're going to want fast internet anyway. Number two, I feel like with everybody working at home, you either know whether or not you have decent enough internet to do it, or you don't, or you need to follow a guide in how to get and use your own router, get better internet connection. And all that is just worth it. It just is. You just power on your Google Chromecast or your computer, or you go to a web browser, and then you just punch a little code on the Stadia controller, and you're just gaming. You don't need to worry about the hardware. You don't need about things overheating. You don't need to worry about storage. You just have to worry about the internet. And I think it's a great place to be. Now, even though I'm talking about Google Stadia, it's only because I have the most experience with it. I'm really excited about the future for casual gamers like myself who aren't willing to spend $500 every season and invest in all these games on these discs or the downloads and the hard drives and just have everything in the cloud and just be able to game wherever I want. That's it for today's episode. If you are interested at all in the Google Stadia Pro or, streaming, trying this out, you don't actually need a controller. You just need a computer and an internet access, or a smartphone and internet access in order to try Stadia Pro for free with all these games. Details and links in the show notes below. Thanks for listening.